Expanding production capacity, how to shift the production possibility curve outward. In previous sections, we saw that it's impossible to produce beyond the production possibility curve. That area represents the impossible frontier. But now an important question arises: is it possible to shift the production possibility curve outward? In other words, can we increase the economy's production capacity? The answer is yes, and there are two main ways to do this. First method, increasing the quantity of production factors. Let's return to the example of Moshe on the isolated island. We saw that he has 12 working hours, and his production possibility curve ranges from 48 fish to 24 coconuts. Now, let's assume Moshe decides to work 14 hours instead of 12. What happens? If he works 14 hours, how many fish can he produce at most? 14 times 4 equals 56 fish. And how many coconuts at most? 14 times 2 equals 28 coconuts. What happened to the production possibility curve? It shifted to the right and upward. The top point rose from 48 to 56, and the rightmost point moved from 24 to 28. Production capacity increased. This principle also holds if you add another worker. For example, if more people arrived on the island, production capacity would increase even more. What are production factors? Production factors typically include labor and machinery, capital. The more production factors an economy has, more workers, more machines, more working hours, the production possibility curve shifts outward and upward. Second method, technological improvement. Now let's look at another way to increase production capacity, technological improvement. Returning to the initial situation, Moshe works 12 hours, catches 4 fish per hour, and picks 2 coconuts per hour. The production possibility curve ranges from 48 fish to 24 coconuts. Technological improvement in one product. Suppose Moshe, who until now has been fishing with a rod, decides to build a net. With the net, he can catch 5 fish per hour instead of 4. The coconut picking rate remains 2 per hour, no change there. What happens now? 12 hours times 5 fish equals 60 fish. But coconuts remain at 24 because there was no improvement there. What does the production possibility curve look like? It shifts only in the direction of fish, from 48 to 60. The coconut point stays the same at 24. The curve stretches upward, but the rightmost point remains fixed. This is because the technological improvement affected only one product. Technological improvement in both products. Now let's see what happens when there's technological improvement in both products. Suppose Moshe can now catch 5 fish per hour and also pick 5 coconuts per hour. What happens? Fish, 12 times 5 equals 60. Coconuts, 12 times 5 equals 60. The production possibility curve shifts both upward and to the right, from 48 and 24 to 60 and 60. Production capacity increases in both directions. Summary: 2 ways to increase production capacity. So, effectively, an economy that wants to increase its production capacity needs to do one or both of the following. Option 1, increase the quantity of production factors. More machines, more workers, more working hours. This shifts the entire production possibility curve outward. Option 2, technological improvements. Producing more with the same resources. If the improvement is in one product, the curve shifts only in that product's direction. If the improvement is in both products, it shifts in both directions. How is this achieved in reality? Let's think about this at the national level. How does a country increase its production capacity? One way, increasing the number of workers. For example, the United States allows immigration of workers. When more workers arrive, the economy's production capacity grows. The production possibility curve shifts outward and upward. Second way, investing in technology and research and development. When an economy invests in research, development, technology, education, and training, it leads to technological improvements. Workers produce more in the same amount of time, machines become more efficient, and the result is increased production capacity. It's like Moshe with the net. Instead of fishing with a rod and catching 4 fish per hour, he built a net and now catches 5. Same working time, more output. This is exactly what happens when a factory invests in a more innovative machine or when workers receive professional training. Exercise, technological improvement in bus production. Let's return to our exercise with 100 workers. Initially, each worker can produce 5 buses or 2 tons of bananas. The production possibility curve ranged from 500 buses to 200 tons of bananas. Now there's a technological improvement in bus production, each worker can produce 10 buses instead of 5. Bananas remain at 2 tons per worker. What happens? Buses, 100 times 10 equals 1,000 buses. Bananas, still 100 times 2 equals 200 tons. The production possibility curve shifts upward only, from 500 to 1,000 buses. For bananas, it remains at 200. Now, if the economy produces 500 buses, how many bananas can it produce? To produce 500 buses requires 500 divided by 10 equals 50 workers. There are 50 workers left. 50 times 2 equals 100 tons of bananas. Notice, before the improvement, when the economy wanted to produce 500 buses, it needed all 100 workers and couldn't produce any bananas at all. After the improvement, it produces the same 500 buses with only 50 workers, freeing 50 workers to produce 100 tons of bananas. This is exactly the meaning of technological improvement, doing more with less. Topic summary. We have summarized the entire topic of the production possibility curve with one production factor. We learned that economics deals with the problem of scarcity, unlimited wants versus limited resources. We constructed the production possibility curve that describes all efficient production points. We understood that points inside the curve represent unemployment, and points outside are impossible. We found the mathematical equation of the curve and saw how to use it. Finally, we learned that it's possible to shift the production possibility curve outward by increasing production factors or through technological improvement. Economies that want to increase their production capacity need to invest in increasing the quantity of production factors and in technological improvements, through research, development, education, and training. This is what distinguishes developed economies from developing ones.